The corona pandemic has had a huge impact on our society and our well-being. But our society have been through crisis before and somehow managed to get out on the other side. So what can we learn from history and what should we think about moving ahead? This is Bisnode Studio with me, Anna Olin Kadal. In this episode of Bisnode Studio, we will talk about success cases from a combined strategy and sales perspective. We ask ourselves if companies who historically have been successful in rough times have anything in common and what they did when the crisis hit to meet that changed market. And for this, I give a warm welcome to Joakim Karlsson, Chief Strategy Officer, and Karin Whitlock, som är Sales Manager at Bisnode. A warm welcome to both of you. So let's start with you, Karin. Care for the people and trust the data. Why is this so important?
Well, caring for the people and customers is always important, and also in times of crisis. And research shows that employees and customers that feel that the company they buy from or are employed at care for them, they will stay longer. So it's obviously important to care. And looking at the data side of it, evidence shows that companies that use data in a smart way are 6 times more likely to acquire new customers and 19 more times likely to be profitable. So obviously this is super important, and combining these two, like caring for the people, caring for your customer, using the data and acting on the data is always important but essential in times of crisis.
Excellent. So as I mentioned, we have been through rough times before. Can we learn from history, Joakim?
I think we can learn a few things from history. For example, dare to make bold decisions, create trust, and remove barriers from closing deals with your customers. I can give you 2 examples. The first one is Lego from the Lehman crisis, 2008. They made a very bold decision, saying that we're not going to focus on the US market anymore. They're going to double down on the European market and expand on the Asian market. And by doing that, they had a nice improvement of their profit margins.
Okay, because the European market came back quicker.
Exactly. And another example, which I was involved in during the IT crisis 20 years ago, I worked for a company named Focal Point. And we decided not to sell software upfront, requiring the customers to buy a lot of money, to pay a lot of money upfront, but to move into a subscription form, meaning that they paid less, they reduced the risk, and if they were not happy, they could just opt out of everything. So bold decision, reducing risk, and removing barriers from closing deals.
Would you say you live by your own advice at Bisnode?
Well, we're trying our best. It's very easy to learn and listen to the theory, but it's always more difficult to translate that into practice.
I see. So how about Karin?
Yeah, and of course we care for the society and we want the business to go back to normal. What now the new kind of normal is, we don't know.
No one knows.
No. So we try a lot of different things. For one thing, we offer credit reports for free to new customers for a limited time so they can have the right information they need right now to do business, because we really want to enable trade. That's super important. And I think even more important, we try to educate our customers right now using webinars, online seminars to really learn right now what they can do in the times of crisis. And again, we need to enable trade. That's one of the most important things. Looking at it a little bit more specifically, we work towards the public sector, and we have services that help them with tracing relatives to infected people. So we can decrease rate of infection, which of course is important in the society right now. But we also look at the other side of it. So they can analyze the business community and see how it has affected them and what measures they need to take. So we really need to get the society working again and get back to, again, what the new kind of normal is.
That's data in the bottom there.
That's data in the bottom and acting on it.
I see. So what else is important to think about, would you say, Joakim?
In doing business today, I think it's very important not to panic. A lot of companies are panicking when it comes to pricing. I think it's very important to be proud of the products and services you're selling and be able to charge approximately the same as you've done before. So don't lower the prices. That's super important.
Lowering prices seems to be a caring thing to do, isn't it?
No, I wouldn't say that is a good thing to do because often you have a decrease in volume. If you combine that with a decrease in price, it's going to hit you very hard in the long run, and that's not good for the customers either.
Okay.
So you can say, whilst product and services, they are not worth less than before, but they are the customers have a lower ability to pay right now. So you can look at other things like prolonging payment terms or maybe even adding on additional services if possible.
But can we say something historically then about how that's turned out? If we lower prices in time of crisis, how does that actually affect the companies? Do you have an example for that?
I would like to give an example of the other way around. Why it's so good to keep prices up? And that is a company in the US, Panera Bread.
That's a Starbucks type of
a
company,
Starbucks
right?
competitor. During the Lehman crisis, 2008, they said that, okay, a year ago, 95% of everyone in the US was employed. Now it might be down to 90%, but everyone is still able to pay full prices. So it took them just 1 year to recover from the Lehman crisis.
Okay.
Starbucks, on the other hand, took them a few more years to get back to the same number of employees. So if you have a good product, if you have good services, charge the same, because they're still worth the same.
So could we sum this up with you giving me examples of how you actually do this on a day-to-day basis at Bisnode? So if we start with the dare part, how do you dare at Bisnode right now?
It's easy to panic nowadays.
Oh,
You
really?
read the media,
Yes.
you read the newspaper, you watch the TV. But it's more important than ever to trust the data, to look into the data and act based on the data. And what we are doing right now is not panicking. We're looking more into the data than ever and act very rationally. And that's the way to do it nowadays.
So, Karin, some examples of how you care at Bisnode?
Yeah, of course. So we talked about the society now, we have talked about our customers and our offering and prices, but the most important thing, obviously, is our employees. And we have employees right now in 19 countries, sitting in their remote offices with families and children running around. And
Lockdown.
Yeah, in lockdown, and very different in different countries as well. So we have to really care for them now and be present in their lives, even though we can't meet them anymore. So we do a lot of things to make them feel that we are present. And one of the things were the digital fika we had a couple of weeks ago with our leadership team in Bisnode. And that was a fantastic experience. They really invited us to our home, to their homes and their lives, and open up about who they were. And we got to know them a little bit better. And it was a exciting thing, and we learned a lot. So it made me really, really proud of working at Bisnode. And it's always about, working is, I think it's always about trust and collaboration. And it's even more important now in times of crisis. And I'm so proud of all Bisnode people sitting at home, taking care of our customers and doing their utmost every day.
Super. Well, thank you very much for being with us here today at Bisnode Studio. I personally love this daring care philosophy. I'm going to carry it with me, and I hope our viewers do as well, along with the tips and tricks you get to learn here today. Please keep a lookout for more episodes of Bisnode Studio here at the website. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.